Hello and thanks for joining us for our coverage of this year's Rugby League World Cup to be conducted over the next 4 weeks through the United Kingdom and France. This morning we bring you the clash of the tournament hot pots, the Australian Kangaroos, as they take on the old foe, the English Lions, and somewhat surprisingly, the traditional home ground of English Rugby Union, Twickenham. This tournament sees 16 teams involved. They are divided into 4 groups. Before we go through those groups, it is a very good morning to Phil Gould. And Gus, firstly, how important is this tournament to our sport? And secondly, can you see it being more competitive and thus more popular than some would have us believe?
Yeah, well, firstly, Peter, I think it's vitally important. A couple of big issues in this World Cup. Number one, the restoration of a little bit of history and tradition with our rugby league, going back to an international series. And number two, the credibility of rugby league worldwide. I guess this tournament's not so much about Australian rugby league, but the developing of rugby league in other nations, which has been neglected a little bit over the last 4 or 5 seasons.
Well, Australia are expected to dominate, and that is reflected in the markets that have been put out before this tournament. As we can see, Australia, very, very short odds, although there is going to be some competition from the likes of New Zealand and England, we would expect.
Yeah, the rugby league in England has actually improved greatly. All the teams bar one over there are coached by Australians, a lot of Australian players. I've been watching a lot of it on Fox Sports, and the standard has really improved. We know that New Zealand on their day can be very competitive. Their side has been broken up a little bit with the New Zealand Maoris and Samoa and Tonga and teams like this. But as you can see there, we've got 16 countries that are going to take part in this World Cup. Everyone who plays for these teams will have a lot of pride in playing in their national colours. And hopefully what we're trying to do is have some kids sitting at home watching these games thinking, well, I want to wear those national colours too. It's really the rebirth of rugby league worldwide.
Well, there we can see the respective odds for each individual team. Let's have a look at the pools. As I said, 16 teams divided into 4. This morning's game that we are covering, Australia up against England, it is a Group 1 match. They are also joined by Fiji and Russia. Group 2, New Zealand, Wales, Cook Islands and Lebanon. Group 3 sees Tonga, Papua New Guinea, France and South Africa. And Group 4, the New Zealand Maoris, Ireland, Scotland and Samoa. Now, they are the 4 groups. We will see the 2 winners out of each of those groups progress to the quarterfinals. As we've seen the market there, this is the way it may work out if the bookmakers are right.
Yeah, I think through the early rounds, the results will be fairly predictable. The key thing about the World Cup, if you have a look at it over the next couple of weeks, is that the games that don't include Australia and New Zealand and England, the other games are going to be relatively competitive. They'll be good, close, hard football games, and they'll be very enjoyable to watch. Australia will dominate a lot of the weaker sides. We see here that Australia will probably come up against New Zealand Maoris in their quarter-final clash. England up against Ireland. A lot of good English players in that Ireland side as well, so that'll be competitive. New Zealand against Tonga, and Wales up against Papua New Guinea.
OK, there have already been a couple of results this morning, Phil, and it's very important, the opening day of this tournament, that we can see some good rugby league, and we hope that will be the case with Australia taking on England, but also some other important results here. You mentioned Ireland. They've got the likes of Yeston Harris and Cunningham in their side. They could be one of the surprise packets in this competition. They've had a win already this morning. Yeah,
that'll be good for them, and you can see by the closeness of the scores, 30-16 would have been a good game. 23-20, Papua New Guinea over France. A little bit of a blowout there for Tonga over South Africa, who are really an emerging nation, South Africa. But these other games away from the main contenders will be of great interest to people worldwide in rugby league, and that's what's important. We need these countries to develop.
OK, but let's now focus on this Australia-England match. A very, very strong squad taken away by Chris Anderson. I don't suppose there's any great surprises in this Australian squad, although off the bench it's great to see the likes of Jason Croker and Darren Britt involved. Take us through the team.
Yeah, Lockyer at fullback, Rogers, Girdler, Gidley and Saylor, Fittler 5'8" and captain, Kamali at halfback, Webke, Johns, Kearns, Tallis, Fletcher, Hill. On the interchange bench, McDougall, Croker, Darren Britt and Jason Stevens, and coached, of course, by Chris Anderson.
Now, I know you speak very regularly to Brad Fittler, the Australian captain. There has been a little bit of conjecture, I suppose, as to who he would be playing outside, either Brett Kimmorley or Andrew Johns. Kimmorley has retained the number 7 shirt. In speaking to Brad Fittler, did he have a preference, or is he quite happy with either number 7?
Yeah, it's quite an anomaly. He rates Andrew Johns the best player in the world, if not the best, certainly the best halfback in the world, if not the best player. But he likes to play with Brett Kimmorley. He said that the attacking options open to this Australian side improved greatly with Kimmorley's flat style of play that's a lot of the clubs have tried to adopt with the success of Melbourne. And he said he feels very, very comfortable, and so does the team, with Kimmorley getting the ball as often as he does. So whilst he rates Andrew Johns the best halfback, he thinks the team functions better with Brett Kimmorley at number 7.
Now, their opposition this morning, Gus, it's a little bit of an unknown quantity because there are a lot of new faces in the team. There's a fairly new coach in John Keir, and that can always be a little bit dangerous because a lot of the players that England have had on the paddock before, we've known them pretty well.
Yeah, we have. We won't know a lot of these fellas. Probably Harvey Howard in the front row, who played with the Broncos this year, and Adrian Morley, who played with Leeds. He's coming out to play with the Roosters next season. He's a promising player. John Keir has taken the attitude that he didn't want too many experienced players in this side, simply because a lot of the older players in England have been belted by Australia over the years. He wanted a good, fresh attitude. He brought a lot of debutants into the side, a lot of young players. He said, I don't want anyone with an emotional baggage. He said, I want people that just want to get out there and play and have no fear for what they're in for. The other side of that, of course, is Australia don't know as much about these players, so a little bit of an advantage there to England.
Now, the last 10 years has shown that if Australia are to be vulnerable in these kind of tournaments, it is the opening game. We have seen, I don't think since 1986, Australia have gone over there and not lost a match, and invariably it's been the opening one. So this is it's a danger game for the favourites.
It is, and from what we understand, it's raining in England, it's cold, and that's going to bring the two sides together. Australian coach Chris Anderson has said that if they are vulnerable, it's this week. There is a little bit of jet lag there. They've only travelled over. They've had big media commitments and promotional commitments. They've had to move from Manchester down into London for this game. They're at the home of rugby. There should be a good crowd there. The slippery conditions bring England into the... and as I said before, the English Rugby League has improved. There'll be some good young players here. In the basics of the game, their kick and chase and their play the ball speed, the whole nation has improved greatly. So their standard of football should be better. With Andy Farrell playing at lock and 5'8", he provides a lot of experience. Harvey Howard will be able to tell them a lot about the Australian players. You know, I'm expecting a pretty spirited performance from England. It's hard to go past Australia winning, and they will win. But this English side could surprise tonight.
Yeah, I think they have got some quality players there, and the man you mentioned, Andy Farrell, if England are to be competitive, he's the man who's got to lead the way. That's coming around very, very shortly. We're going to take a break now and we'll be back with our opening match in this year's Rugby League World Cup, the Kangaroos up against the Lions. Between Australia and England. I mentioned earlier, rainy conditions over there, very cold, but what an experience for these players as they take the field at this wonderful ground. The Kangaroos up against the Lions. We now go to London. Commentators Eddie Hemmings and Mike Stevenson. Our pictures courtesy of B-Sky B.
When the nerves will really start to jangle. England with the cross of St George emblazoned on their chests. Australia in the traditional green and gold. Great atmosphere. We're all ready for this. Andrew Farrell looking stern and determined, the English captain.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the team's anthems.
Tim Chandler with the Australians' national anthem. And it's land of hope and glory for England. Land of hope and glory, how shall we extol thee, one of ever be, while still and wide. May our crowns be spread. God will make me fighting, make me mighty yet. God will make me mighty, make me Oh well, if that doesn't stir the blood, nothing will. Steve-O, these are occasions to savour.
Sure are, the emotion written all over the English coach, John Keir. It'll be the same for the Australians. Breaking new ground, of course, playing here at Twickenham. But that will be the furthest from their minds. They know they have a job to do, a job that will not be easy. That man will lead with courage and with pride. For 80 minutes, he will give all.
Big night for the referee, David Paquieto from New Zealand. In touch with the sidelines, we have the video referee in operation, of course, during the World Cup. Massive screen here at Twickenham tonight, way up in the heavens on the right-hand side of this stadium.
Here we go.
So we're ready. The World Cup's about to come alive. Ireland did the home nations proud this afternoon. England now expects, and England will have first use of the football. Here we go. And Stuart Fielden is greeted by fearsome Australian defence.
Pretty solid, that'll lift the Kangaroos, that is for sure. They really went into it. This is the moment where England have to just keep their nerve. Do nothing silly.
Play out the first set of 6, get a good kick in, that will be the key. This is Andrew Farrell. England not making too much progress. Now perhaps they will with Harvey Howard. Well known to Gordon Tallis, who got the tackle in on him, of course. Brisbane teammates back home. Grand final winners back home. Talking of grand final winners, there's one of our own from Sean Long, but it's right down the throat of Darren Lockyer. The England chase is good, but Lockyer almost away. Farrell and Senior in the end combining to haul the Aussie fullback down.
Well, not the best kick, but the chase was good, and that's important.
And that's a great tackle from Rowley. Terrific tackle that from Rowley, and he felt that, did Matthew Gidley.
Big hit there from Morley. He gave him another serve as well with the right arm.
Webke knows.
Not seen by the official.
Webke knows that Morley's about. This is Tallis to halfway for the Australians. The opening set of 6 for the Kangaroos. Darting little run from Johns. England caught offside.
That's the advantage of the Australians. They play the ball ever so quickly. They move it forward. And you could see there that the English side were very slow. They have to get back quicker. 5 or 6 to select from there, from Mr. Paquito. And a big night for him as well, but England have to make sure they get back that 10.
And this is a big set of 6 coming up for the English hopes. The Australians are 20 metres away. And on the charge goes in Robbie Kearns. First tackle, set of 6. Vital set of 6 for England this. Here is Webke. The English defence at the moment is standing firm. Fielden and Rowley in very quickly. The mist from the fireworks is starting to clear. Scott Hill gets the pass away. This is Fletcher, and Fletcher is grabbed by Chev Walker, and Adrian Morley there also standing firm. Scott Hill at dummy half again, gets it away to Johns. The water is splashing up from the boots of the Aussies, and Johns has lost possession. Huge side relief.
Not surprisingly, that was a big hit from Harvey Howard.
And Johns is in trouble.
Not only that, the second row of Brian Fletcher is in trouble too. Two Australians down.
And England have a penalty.
That was one big hit there from Harvey Howard. Bang, he came across. It did not look right. That perhaps should have been a penalty. The referee has not seen it. Watch the swinging right arm.
He was falling.
Falling?
Robbie Kearns rather was falling.
What a big hit.
There's blood there on the leg of Brian Fletcher.
Well, we wanted the English to get it into the faces of the Australians pretty quick. It's a blood bin for Fletcher. They are certainly not messing around there, the English boys.
Well, there are 12 substitutions allowed in World Cup 2000. That includes blood bins. So 12 minus 1 now for Australia. They have 11 left. And Brian Fletcher is not too clever.
Well, we said get into their faces, and there's two. One of them anyway, Fletcher. He's very groggy indeed.
The referee has put him in the blood bin, but Fletcher's still on the field. I think he's going to come off now. Penalty, the Aussies not standing square at the play of the ball, Steve.
See, they're quite... they were eager to get on with it. Well, that certainly will be a big problem for the Australian coach, Chris Anderson. Fletcher, one of his main men. Great support player, but... well, the defensive effort from England is somewhat hot.
And welcome to the mother country, Brian Fletcher. Now here goes Harvey Howard again. I bet you the Aussies will be hunting him. Rowley again at dummy half. And here is Morley. He will be looking for a big game today. Off to the Sydney City Roosters at the end of this World Cup. Sean Long hands it on short. Good tackling though by Webke again on field. And now then, Rowley, good scampering run, but stopped dead in his tracks by Johns.
Such an important role there from Paul Rowley. He's got to do more from the dummy half. First time we've seen Sean Long, but it's a good opening stanza there from the English side.
Well, Australia then was stood a metre in front of the referee. He says it's the last tackle, and it's a kick over the top from Radlinski under pressure, straight down the throat of Lockyer. Here come the Aussies now.
They can't afford to do this, Eddie. They've got to stop putting the ball straight down the throat of Darren Lockyer. He's the best open player in rugby league football.
Well, Radlinski was under some pressure. He got the kick away, but as you say, straight down the throat of him. It's Ryan Girdler now for the Aussies, right on the halfway line. And here again comes Robbie Kearns. And the big forward charging at the English line.
Oh, we were going backwards there instead of meeting the charging forward. Got to move up.
Kim Morley, look for Saylor out wide. Saylor's onside. Saylor's going to score. Saylor will get the first try at Twickenham. Oh, there was no defence at home out wide. And the touch judge, well, he waved him in. He said he was onside, but the referee, David Paquito, has gone to the video referee.
Well, we see quite clearly he's a mile onside. Kicked early in the tackle count. No one at home. No one decided to drop back. We mentioned the fact, Eddie, that the Australians would utilise a kick towards the two wingers, and they've done it very early. And you can see quite clearly out wide. I don't know why they're waiting for this to be decided. This will be TRY, no doubt about it.
The giant screen will tell us the tale, I'm sure. First try on the way for Wendell Saylor, I think. Try is given. And Twickenham goes just a little bit quiet. Wendell Saylor, his 12th try for his country. And John Keir knows his defence was caught flat out wide.
They get it. Beautiful kick into the corner. You can see there they were caught out. Wendell Saylor, well, that is a gift try. They really should have been aware of the early kick. Brett Kimmorley, one of the best in the game. He just waited. Could have made a cup of tea there. Oh, that is so disappointing, the way that they give that try away.
Rogers to add the extras, one of the best goal kickers in the world, but he sliced that. So maybe England can breathe a sigh of relief. It's only 4-0. A try on the plate for Wendell Saylor, and what a record he has got. in international football. What a record he's got in club football, come to that. The big Australian winger.
The inexperience showing there, Eddie. It was a big gamble by John Keir to throw in the two inexperienced youngsters, Leon Price, Chev Walker, and one of them was caught out very badly indeed.
Well, it will certainly settle the Australian nerves, but will it just spur England on now to something a little bit special? 4-0, an early score for Australia, not in the script for John Keir. The Australians in possession again with try scorer Wendell Sailor at the dummy half. He gets it away to Kearns. Good defence. It's now with Tallis. And Fletcher was in the blood bin when that try was scored, and interestingly, Chris Anderson hasn't used one of the substitutes. They're still playing with 12 men. That's incredible. This is Radlinski. What a chase! What a chase and what a tackle from Girdler.
Well, I don't know what's going round on the Australian bench, but to leave them out with just 12, just counting them there, it appears they've still only got 12.
Well, that doesn't show too much respect for the English, does it, to play on with 12 men? Maybe he is holding them for what is to come later, because remember, they only arrived in this country from Australia on Monday, and he was telling us privately last night, Chris Anderson, that jet lag has been a bit of a problem. His men have been struggling to get to sleep.
Well, it looks like Fletcher is ready to return to the fray.
High kick from Farrell. Price is after it, and Price almost got it, but Rogers, he was the man who came up with the goods.
That was a great kick. He nearly had it, as you mentioned. But he's pretty solid, is Matt Rogers, not only in this side just for his kicking ability, but again, the kick's so important, and it will be tonight.
Naylor was appealing then for a knock-on against the Aussies.
Not just the high kicks, but the little grubber. It is extremely wet out there.
But you can see every time they plough their way forward, particularly up the England defensive end, that the water just spills over the top of the boots. That's Tallis who takes the tackle. Farrell gets off him. Tallis plays the ball to Johns, and then it comes back, and Kearns seeing a lot of it. Yeah, come on. Johns again at dummy half. The kick angled and almost over the top of Radlinski, but the England fullback collects it without too much trouble. Now the chase is on. Radlinski taking on Girdler, and also in there the Aussie captain as well.
Pretty solid tackler as well as Ryan Girdler. Really is one of the stars of this Australian outfit. That, from 1 to 13, they really are top quality. And that's the reason why I mentioned that.
Fielden's lost it. Fielden's lost it in the tackle. He's gifted it back to Kimorley. Kimorley then on to Scott Hill. They're flooding forward in support. Over the top it goes to Wendell Sailor. This is a huge problem for England. This fellow, he gets it away to Gidley, and Gidley disappears under the challenge from Walker and from Farrell. Well, now, whenever Wendell Sailor gets it, there is danger for England. Scott Hill. That's only 2 tackles gone, and they are inside the 10-metre zone with Kimorley. It goes wide to the skipper, Fittler. On it goes then, and that's a try to Girdler. Girdler scampered in. Referee's not giving it again. He holds it up. He's gone to the screen again.
He wants to see whether it's a double movement, but he did well, Girdler. You see him dive. He knows it's slippy out there. Now, all he has to do is just keep the elbow square in, and the momentum will take him through.
Oh, he's moved it, he's lifted it, surely.
Well, it looks that way.
Surely it's a double movement, this.
So the ball carrying arm hits the deck there, and if he moves the arm again, yeah, deliberate move, double movement, this will be no try. But again, the English caught out wide. No doubt in my mind. Let's hope that the video referee feels the same way. I'm confident.
Well, you're confident, that means it'll be a try, this. Everyone in the stadium waiting, and England supporters breathe a sigh of relief. You were right.
Can't get them right sometimes, but so ingenious, wasn't it? There's a centre, Ryan Girdler knew that the weather conditions, perhaps it would slide away, and maybe that gives you some indication that this ground is so good, it's absorbed so much rain today. The drainage here must be absolutely fantastic.
Well, it's starting to scar a little from the pounding of the hooves out there, but England will be relieved that Ryan Girdler, who has scored a try in both internationals this year against New Zealand and Papua New Guinea, has been denied by the video referee. Fielden also will be denied, and he's lost that.
He nearly lost it. They've got away with it. Touch judges certainly didn't interfere there. The big problem, of course, for...
Good ball from Forshaw to Farrell, then on to Long, and Morley has hit the gap.
Just saying, Eddie, the big problem for the English is that they've not got themselves in an attacking position to apply anything towards the Australians.
They might now, because they're with Farrell. And Robbie Kearns was over the top of him there. This now is Sean Long, and a kick for Chev Walker to chase, but that's too deep. No, that went, as soon as it left the boot, that was far too deep.
The idea was good. You'll be disappointed with that, Sean Long. That's the first real opportunity that England have had to get into the quarter. Of course, there was a kick out wide onto the right, Liam Price, but was defused by Matt Rogers.
England getting stuck in, but Australia offloading the ball ominously. This is Fittler, little drop of the shoulders, but fortunately he didn't deceive Scott Naylor.
That's another big problem that the English will have, of course. Andrew Johns, not a recognised hooker, but one of the best halfbacks in the world playing in that position. He will run from dummy half.
Oh, Fletcher's back out of the blood bin. That's a very loose pass, but they've got away with it, Australia. It's with Gordon Tallis, and Tallis loses it. He tried to keep that ball alive, he lost it. Fielden claims the possession back for the English.
Far too fancy there from the big second rower. Really should have gone to the ground with it, especially in these conditions. Missed opportunity. Try to offload, far too much traffic.
Senior now, he offloads and finds Chev Walker. Walker taken on by Gidley, and Gidley wins that particular battle. Here now goes Rowley down the blind side, but good defence this time from Matthew Gidley. And Anderson is on to add his weight. Oh, but he's dropped it.
The football, was it Lee briefed out?
No.
Play the knock on.
Well, Anderson's furious, he is.
Well, two mistakes. Here's the second one from the big fella Anderson. You could see quite clearly there that there was no interference from Brian Fletcher. He just lost control of this. Fletcher definitely grabbing the shirt, not the football. Can't afford to do that.
Down together. Stay loose.
So Australia's feed at the scrum, and Kim Morley gets it back and gives it to Fittler. A little juggle then from Darren Lockyer, but England cannot let this fellow run with the ball in hand. The Australian fullback. I think England have only been in the opposition territory about once or twice in this first half. 12 and a half minutes gone, the Aussies ahead, 4-0. And there is the possession. 7 minutes the Aussies have been camped in English territory out of 12, and England, they've been in the other half just 1 minute in possession, that is. Here is Tallis. Such a handful is Gordon Tallis. The dump to the ground.
Well, the ploy of just slowing play the ball down is working for the Englishmen.
Here is Fittler though. Out wide there is Girdler. Girdler forced out further wide. This is Rogers. Rogers dumped the ball over the top. England have got it back. Mike Forshaw has it back now for England. They're trying to keep the ball alive though.
Did well there though, the Australians, keeping that ball away from the touch. Finish up with it.
Referee loses his patience.
Fittler the culprit. But the ploy that they're utilising, this is the penalty that's given away. Never allowed the big fella any chance to get on with it quickly.
Well, England now are desperate to make some territory from this penalty. Stuart Fielden. Fittler is in there, so too is Webke, the prop forward.
Trouble is though, Eddie, England cannot just fall into the trap of playing one-out football. They will tire late in the game. They've got to be more adventurous. I know they haven't had many opportunities, but they've got to try something. They haven't got to wait until they get into the quarter line. They've got to try something midway.
The Aussies are all over them like a rash at the moment. Every time they're in possession, something maybe here might develop. This is Tony Smith. Last season with Wigan, next season with Hull. On halfway, he plays the ball to Sean Long, who gives it to Adrian Morley. Morley, a fearsome sight when he's going forward, and he gets the penalty. Head-high tackle on Morley.
Scott Hill, swinging arm, but that's the aggressive running that we need. You can see he went on the second bite. Well spotted by the official. First one on the shoulder, second one right in the mush.
Scott Hill is wanted by the referee.
They've got Not surprisingly, a few words being said to the skipper.
Penalty for the head-high tackle by Scott Hill. Remember him, don't we, from the World Club Championship when he came over as a youngster in 1997. He's not that old now. Boy, has he blossomed.
Well, the combination, the two halfbacks with Brett Kimmorley, of course, especially down in Melbourne. And that's the advantage again, what Chris Anderson has got. He knows that Scott Hill playing loose forward tonight, he can bring him into the standoff role at any time.
Here's Sean Long. This is an opportunity for England, but the pass is just at the moment not sticking. First time for the English. They might now with Farrell. He's away from one, and there was a good run then. He gets it away, but
support was slow. Farrell was doing everything right.
You've got a penalty. It's another penalty. Obstruction. No, he was pulling back the man without the ball. Penalty in front of the post. England will surely take two.
They could have had six. You can see there, Farrell. It was big Gordon Tallis that was stopping Forshaw from supporting, but someone really should have been right at the backside of the skipper. No doubt about it that Tallis interfering. He looks confused. I think he's knows quite well he's conceded 2 points.
Yes, Andy Farrell is lining up the penalty goal here. Gordon Tallis just clawing Mike Forshaw back without the football. And the England skipper here with a chance to get his team on the board, which he does. And that's one bet gone west, because the bookies were offering that the Australians would go through this tournament without conceding a point. That's one well on the field. Another penalty for England. Well, the referee's doing his best.
Come on, get to the mark,
Well, the New Zealand referee not allowing Sean Long to get on with it. The British referees allow that. With international rules, they like to make sure that everybody's back the full 10 metres.
Chris Anderson passing the information down to the touchline. He won't be happy with this penalty count against his men. Here's Anderson again, but he's driven back. That's the first tackle, though. It's 4-2 to Australia, but a massive penalty count against the Aussies. And here is Fielding again. Oh, and there's a problem there. Scott Hill, I think it is, has gone down. Ball picked up on the bounce. Here now is Farrell. Knock on.
Well,
Knock on given.
Surely there must have been interference with the player down. So, in effect, he would have been offside. He was still offside at the play of the ball. I know he's injured, but it certainly interfered with the ball getting away from the dummy half position.
Hold it there, hold it. Hold it steady.
18 minutes on the watch. The favourites ahead by 4 points to 2 against the host nation. Or one of the host nations. That's Gidley, Matthew Gidley, a former junior Kangaroo. Highly impressive season he's had this year with the Newcastle Knights. They've made a change now, the Aussies. That's Darren Britt on for them, right on halfway. And just 2 offloads from England, no breaks as yet. 6 breaks from the Aussies, 4 offloads. That was another attempted offload that didn't come off.
Knock on there from the big prop forward, Shane Webke.
Well, I said it was a knock. It was an attempted offload, Steve-O, and that really took a lot away from that tackle.
Certainly was. They're getting into their faces. Anderson, well, he's got a 2-point lead, but I think even he realises that the English guys really have taken it to them. But this Australian defence is pretty solid. They're playing a very tight sliding defence as well.
England, I think, will be well pleased with the situation after 19 minutes, though. Only 2 points in it. Oh, but the ball retention, the conditions can be blamed, and you cannot afford to put down passes like that. Scott Naylor, the culprit.
You can see quite clearly, should I say, that Naylor just had a little bit of a glance at Ryan Girdler. Afford to do that at this level. You have to realise that Australia will be in their faces all the time. That's how they play it.
Well, I think with the jet lag and the ring rustiness on the Australians, they would love to build up a massive lead in the first hour, and they weren't too impressed with that tackle by Tony Smith, and it's starting to get a little bit heated.
Well, to be fair, there's been quite a few headshots from both sides.
Just over there.
This is one that you wouldn't see. It was an elbow clash there. That was a pretty bad one as well by Tony Smith. Oh, what on earth has come across him? And you can see that his left forearm is well padded.
suspect it was an elbow. I'm going to put it on report. All right.
And rightly so, Eddie.
That incident will be on report, will be viewed by the disciplinary committee.
It looked very bad indeed.
I've seen an elbow, I suspect. Yeah, I didn't see the point of contact. I did see an arm raised. Okay, man. Put it on report. Yeah, okay. All right.
The referee is right. The arm was definitely raised. I think, fortunately, it didn't quite make contact. But that incident goes on report, will be viewed by the disciplinary committee.
Well, I'm not so sure. His head went back.
Well, I'm not so sure it was the elbow that made contact, Stephen.
Forearm. Either way, it hurt. But he could be in a bit of trouble for the next game.
Here's Darren Britt again. Highly rated by Chris Anderson. He was his club coach at Canterbury before Anderson moved away to Melbourne. And England making a change. Fleary is on for young Stuart Fielden, the young player of the year, Fielden, replaced by the older head Darren Fleary. And here comes Lockyer, and he finds Gidley, and Gidley finds Saylor. How on earth did he keep hold of that? Girdler didn't keep hold of it. Gidley rather didn't keep hold of it.
Trouble is, it came off Andy Farrell, I feel. Did the ball hit the man, or did Farrell go for it? Put it back on the inside. Walker trying to get him in. And there you see, did it come off Farrell's leg? This could be a feed to Australia.
Hey guys, not played it.
No, it's England's head and feet.
Well, it's deemed that the ball played the man rather than the other way around. It's a big relief, I'm sure, for the English players out there. But look at that solid defence. See how they move in from the angle, even at the scrum base. The centres come in so quickly, give you no room to move at all.
Naylor plays the ball to Long, who gives it inside to Anderson.
Get back.
And Gordon Tallis has left the field, as we saw. He's gone into the dressing room, probably for running repairs maybe. Here's the England captain Andy Farrell, and the Aussies know all about him. Every time he gets it, there are 2 and 3 waiting. Now then, Fleary with his first touch. He gets to halfway. Good tackling by Johns. Quick play of the ball. It's on the last. Little dab through by Long. Taken out and back play.
He's playing on the advantage. It could be a try.
There's a chance in the try.
What on earth has he done? Why didn't he just go into the corner?
Leon Price had the line beckoning.
What on earth is the youngster thinking of there? He had the line at his mercy and he just offloaded. He cannot believe it, and neither can I. All he has to do is slide. No way in the world that Darren Lockyer would have got to him if it had gone underneath and slid on the wet turf. Beautiful work from Sean Long. It should have been a penalty, but the referee played the advantage. We should have scored a try here. Well, Rodgers did well. He put himself in between for the pass. But that man there, John Keir, knows only too well they have bombed a certain 4-pointer.
Well, they have another set of 6 because the referee gave Australia the drop out underneath the posts, and here come England again, and they're gaining in confidence, trying to keep this ball alive. It's with Adrian Morley now. But I'm with you, Leon Price, had he slid, he would surely, and there's a penalty to England. Interference at the play of the ball. Referee's whistle's gone, the crowd angry, but Australia had stopped. The whistle had gone, Australia had put their foot off the gas. They have the penalty, England.
Well, the fans don't like it.
No, the Australians stopped the moment the whistle blew.
See back on the inside, they turned their backs, looked at the referee. He wasn't playing it square, looking to get away with it in many ways. Good work from Rowley though, took full advantage, realised that the Australian first and second markers were slow.
So an opportunity for Andy Farrell to level the scores. Damien McGrath and John Keir discussing with manager David Howes there in the background as well. I think they know that Leon Price might have scored. Let's put it down to the fact that Price is still just a teenager. As Farrell hammers the ball between the H's. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Well, from this angle, that looked like it had gone over the top of the H. But the touch judges waved it away.
Just spinning away to the left-hand side. Touch judges in fine position, of course. Well, psychologically, that will be a bitter blow for this English side. They know perhaps, that was a swinging arm there. Stevens it was. But they know England. They should have been in front.
Yes, they should have been. At least they should have been level. Rowley. And here comes Adrian Morley again. Fed by Tony Smith he was. The change has been made by Australia. Here is Farrell. He showed it to Senior. Farrell just hauled down by Matthew Gidley. Good run from the England skipper. Rowley to Smith. On it goes to Long. Long will dab it over the top looking for Radlinski. Brilliant stuff from Matt Rogers.
He's certainly no weak link. That's the third kick that Rogers has looked after with ease. It was a difficult one. It was just dipping in front of him. But good option to take the gamble. Radlinski was applying the pressure.
Well, that's what you said, and that's what you've said consistently over the past 24 hours, that England must take the game to Australia, must take the chances.
Not only that, but kick early like they did in the tackle count. That's how Australia came up with their try.
Penalty to Australia now. Ball stolen. Two-man tackle.
It's a vital period now for the English. This is where the Australians always seem to fight back when you've just missed out on perhaps scoring a try. You don't know what's going through your mind, but they do. They will really up the tempo now, will the Australians, that's for sure.
Darren Britt hangs on for Australia, tackled by Rowley and by Darren Fleary. John's the dummy half, and he gets it away to Brian Fletcher. Fletcher met by Farrell, by Morley, by Fleary. He won't go down, now he will. That's 3 tackles gone.
Keep your eye out for Brad Fittler. We haven't seen much of him as yet.
Andrew Johns is away from the first marker. Big hit though on him, just 10 metres short of the line.
Felt
the Australian captain did. 1990-94 Kangaroo. And he's on his haunches, but this is Kamali stabbing it through, dangerously. Oh, he stretches out. He's lost it. He's lost the football. The referee will go to the video ref again to check it out. Has he lost it? Did he bounce it? Has Fittler scored? He thinks he has.
I think he has. I think Fittler gets to this ball first. Kamali, beautiful little dink on the wet surface. He's onside. Little doubt about that. Good half a metre behind. Punches it through. See Long going through it, but he gets there first. Look at the spray of the water. Scoops it up. No knock on. Spins around. This is the important point. Does he reach out and get there? He does.
Yes, he does. Providing it was on the line or over.
No doubt in my mind they'll take another angle. Whether we see it or not for the referee, yes, we will. This is good work, though, from the Australian skipper. That's TRY time. Sadly, they have a habit of doing this, Australia.
Video referee isn't 100% convinced yet.
He wanted to see if there was a knock on there, but he was taken well by Fittler. Slowed it down, flipped it up. Did it just leave his fingertips? They're going to go frame by frame. He's not convinced. He takes it on the half volley, does it, or does it move? Oh, this is a big call.
I don't think you can take that away from him.
Even at slow motion. Now then, does the ball move a fraction?
Well, look at that water. It's a la 1968 and the water splash at Wembley.
Well, it was well picked up for mine, and I'll go for TRY. I don't want to say it.
Well, I think the debate rages for the video referee, and there doesn't look anything wrong with the grounding. Brad Fittler is convinced. What say you, video referee? Oh. Well, that is a massive call in the context of this match, and the decision is a knock-on.
Well, we said that perhaps they would go frame by frame. He was quite happy with it. Well, he just shook his head, Brad Fittler. His experience, he knows what it's all about. He's already had the wonderful experience of lifting that World Cup trophy.
Well, I don't think he can believe it. And I have to say, if that would have been up the other end, you and I would be curious now.
Oh, he's knocked on as Sean Long. What a mistake.
Well, maybe justice will be done.
That is not the time for the man of steel to come up with a mistake. After a huge let-off. The Aussies had one a couple of minutes earlier, of course. Leon Price, to my mind, should have scored.
Get in loose, stay in loose.
Plenty of drama, Eddie.
Oh, there's drama here, and will Australia make England pay for that? It's the skipper again.
Stand up.
This is a huge set of 6 for the English. Gidley, back it goes to Kim Morley. Good ball, Fletcher. He keeps it alive. A good defence from England. They're scrambling well.
Good work there from Naylor and the hooker, Paul Rowley.
Andrew Johns nearly drowned then. This is Jason Stevens.
Sean, get outside.
The Australians are 5 metres away from the English line. And there's Darren Britt again. Good hit. Adrian Morley.
Super stuff.
Kim Morley again. Knocked forward, knocked on anyway. Saylor will pick it up, but the referee will blow the whistle and bring them back. No doubts about that.
Well, somewhat over-elaborate. On ball out wide, there was never any chance that Brad Fittler was going to get the pass from Kamali. Either way, it was Matthew Gidley that came up with another one anyway.
Give me a channel.
And the most relieved man inside this Twickenham Stadium will be the fella there, Sean Long, who's just passed it inside to Chris Radlinski.
Stand up. Out here.
Well, I must say, controversy will reign at half-time, and I really feel that Brad Fittler was perhaps badly done to. It looked a pretty good try.
Well, as I say, if it was up the other end, we would be calling now for a charge of larceny on the grandest of scales.
We're not that biased.
I think they were hard done by, the Aussies, I have to say.
So you agree with me now?
Without a doubt. Farrell with the kick over the top, and is that too deep? Yes,
it is.
It's out on the full.
There's a disappointed England skipper. He knew how important it was to go into the last 10 minutes trying to keep Australia deep within their own territory. But only 2 points adrift. They'll be quite confident.
I wonder what thoughts are going through the minds of our viewers on the other side of the world tonight, Steve-O, back in Australia. They're watching this on Fox Sports. They're watching it on Channel 9 in Australia, and they're watching it also on Sky TV, NZ in New Zealand, of course. They're watching the opening match, the biggest match of the opening round anyway of the World Cup. I think Australia have a penalty here.
First shot was too high, guys.
High shot.
Keep them down.
It was Rowley first, and then Howard came and had a go.
And Kim Morley felt both of them.
Across the chest, finished up underneath the chin, but Harvey Howard, talk about putting yourself about.
Johns,
pretty strong.
Johns has taken a quick tap, and he played it to himself. And it's Wendell Saylor at dummy half, and he spins the ball wide. Britt, and here is Lockyer. Britt found Stevens, who found Lockyer, and Naylor is claiming the knock-on. The referee won't have any of it. Johns again. Kim Morley, danger every time he gets it. Fittler, that look forward from Fittler, but it's Matthew Gidley, and the referee's going to give this. The referee's going to give this to Gidley, and England pay the price. Gidley with the try. From our angle, mind you, I thought the kick from Farrell was over the top of the post earlier, but from this angle the pass looked suspicious. But he can't go to the video referee for forward passes.
No, I think it was all right. It was a beautiful piece of play from the Australian skipper.
No problem.
Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. You can see how dangerous they are. They were all queuing up out wide. That's a problem that the English have. They work hard in the middle, but they have this wonderful ability to create the extra man. That's what they did. Simple try, well worked out.
Justice may be seen to be done as Matthew Gidley gets the try. Former junior Kangaroo, 2 tries for New South Wales in the 56-16 win over Queensland in June this year. And now Matt Rogers. Well, he missed with his first attempt. I wonder if he's got his sight set from the other side of the field. He's missed another. It's not the night for goal kickers. This turf is very wet, and the non-kicking foot will slip. But Australia are ahead 8 points to 2, 2 tries to 0.
Tonight.
A little bit more pressure off the coach, Chris Anderson. Who knows he was going to be in for a big battle. Oh, he let it bounce, he got away with it.
He did, Rogers. It was almost as though that was in the text for Rogers then. He just allowed it to bounce on this treacherous surface, but it came up for him. And now another penalty, and Fleary has been conceding a few since he's come on.
Again, lack of discipline. And I just get the impression that England are just hanging on now, hoping to get to half-time for a talk from that man, John Keir.
Well, they're trying to slow them down at the play of the ball, aren't they?
But in doing that, you've got to make sure you don't concede those penalties.
Yes, you've got to know exactly when to get up off them. And this is Jason Croker.
Australia now starting to go the second phase of attack. Watch how they'll be running behind the man with the football.
Here's Kim Morley. Penalties are certainly levelling themselves up as we approach half-time. And now it's with Darren Britt. And this is Stevens. And he's lost
the ball.
it.
Oh, we took a gamble. And now we've lost it. They'll take the first knock on. Well, it is very, very wet out there. There's the first loss. And why on earth? Well, I can't believe how Scott Naylor wanted to try to get the way there. That Stevens lost the ball. That'll be the first knock on.
Yes, it is. Whitehead and feed, says referee Paquieto.
Well, we've only minutes to half-time. Why on earth is Scott Naylor trying to loof the ball back in wet conditions? Just drop on it. Possession is vital.
See 20 minutes of possession in the opposition half altogether. I must say the Australians, it seems to have been permanently down the England end, but that stat says no.
And the big problem with that means that England would have had to do most of the tackling, so they will be tiring late in the game. The Australians, they're pretty smart. They know that they've got the strength to go through on the full 80 minutes. That final quarter will play its part.
It's Fleary who gets the offload, and England keeping it alive. Radlinski, they're lined up out wide. This is Senior taking them on, and Senior stays in the field of play. Saylor doing well, and Scott Hill doing well, Doran Lockyer rather doing well, but England on the charge with Long, crossfield kick. This is for Price. Oh, it's just skipped off the turf.
Wonderful quick thinking there from the halfback Sean Long. Knew that the defence was tight. Australian sliding defence, midway across to the dummy. The chance was there, just wasn't long enough. Great break though from Radlinski. Senior did well. He knew he was sliding towards the touchline. That will have lifted their spirits just before half-time. That was the type of move that they needed.
Yes, what would England have given for a try there? Fletcher gets to his feet and plays the ball, and here goes Rogers. That blonde rinse standing out like a beacon. Fleary's all over the top of him again, and Fleary ought to be careful. He's been penalised so often. Kick over the top again, but that's going to be easy surely for Chev Walker. It just dropped like a pudding then in the 10-metre area. And now England have got to hang on for the football for this set of 6. 3.5 to go to the half-time siren. Radlinski. 8-2 to the Aussies.
Well, you saw on that occasion that Chev Walker learned from his mistake before. Remember when it allowed Wendell Saylor in for an easy try. He certainly has bucked up his ideas. He's thinking all the time now. He is dropping back a little bit earlier. Obviously the word has gone out from his coach John Keir.
Slice kick over the top from Andy Farrell. Saylor is after it. Saylor picks up 20 metres away, and Senior and Morley eventually wrestle Wendell Saylor to the ground. Now it's a vital 2 3/4 minutes here for the English. Tony Smith and Chev Walker doing the tackling, and he felt that, did Matthew Gidley.
Getting through a lot of defensive work as the stand-off Tony Smith.
Johns gets it away. Stevens gives it to Fletcher. Fletcher, oh, great ball. Here's Lockyer, he's chimed in. And England have it back.
Pretty fortunate there. Trying to force the pass. Good work there from Leon Price. But again, it shows you that when Australia do that quick play the ball and the first man coming, it looked as though there was a bit of a shepherd, but good work from that youngster.
Now then, Sean Long, Andy Farrell, and Senior's hit the gap, and Senior's lost the ball. Australia lose it now. They'll bring it back for the first.
Let the knock on, no advantage.
an England player in back play, by the way, receiving treatment. I think it's Adrian Morley.
Still problems also for the second row of Brian Fletcher.
Where you go?
So 2 second rowers receiving treatment.
He's blowing hard, is Morley. He has had that sternum injury. And there is another Aussie on his way to the blood... Oh, no, it's an Englishman on his way to the blood bin. No, it isn't. Mike Forshaw has just wiped the blood from his mouth and has gone back on. So no change made there by John Keir.
Now, England have to be aware. It's likely that Brad Fittler will opt for the kick straight from the scrum.
Andy Farrell indicating something to the sideline there about one of his second row colleagues. Maybe it's Forshaw with the blood, but Gidley gets the ball away to Girdler. England funnel back and scramble again in this defence that has stood them well so far, but they have to repel the borders here for the next 1 1/4, and this is Rodgers, and he was hit fearsomely by Farrell.
Sean Long picked up a knock, the tackle previous.
Here come the green and golds again. Out the back door it goes. That was dry weather football. They've got away with it.
It's not back to 6. Still got the count going.
Now this is Brick on the charge. He turns and spins and offloads. Great movement from Australia. Kim Morley, though, is tackled by Senior and also by Fleary. Johns goes wide to Fittler. It goes further wide. Ball's popped up. Rodgers has gone without it. England breathe a sigh of relief. Referee will put the scrum down. We've got half a minute of the first half remaining.
Knock on by Rodgers. Good work, though. Combination of the centre. It just wasn't strong enough. Good work also by Leon Price. See how Price goes across, follows his opposite winger. And it was that pressure that ensured that man, Matt Rodgers, didn't get the ball in the half volley.
Well, they'll be pleased with this situation, England, I can tell you. Only 6 points adrift after all this pressure from Australia. And if we were talking now about Super League, we'd be saying that this is so tight, this match. But the fact of the matter is the Australians have had so much possession in the first half that now comes to an end.
8 points to 2. 2 tries scored in that first half. Saylor and Gidley. Rodgers missed both conversions, while for England, Andy Farrell kicked an early penalty goal. The match stats show us that the Australians have dropped a fair bit of football. Plenty of missed tackles for the Englishmen as well. They're really not too bad, and I think that the English side will be buoyed by that first 40 minutes. A pretty spirited effort on their behalf, and plenty of good performers in that first 40, Phil.
Yeah, Paul Riley tops the tackle count for England, and I also like what he's been doing with the ball out of dummy half. Some good performers there. Offloads from Saylor, Fletcher and Lockyer, keeping the Australian tack going. But a pretty good performance by both sides.
I mentioned the mentality of the English side at half-time. Keir would be pretty happy with his charges. Wet conditions, and also hoping maybe some jet lag will kick in.
Yeah, Australia's struggling a little bit with the ball, but their defence looks good. England are probably going to have some trouble scoring tries, but a good performance by England, much of the same in the second half.
Kicking game very good from the Australians. Kamali on fire there.
Has been. Scored 1 try, had 1 disallowed. I don't think we're getting any favours off the referees or the video referee over there.
Well, they do lead 8 points to 2, the Australians. Time now to go back to Twickenham with a 6-point lead to the Aussies over the English.
And so the second half is about to get underway. England in the red and white, the cross of St George, attacking from left to right in this second half. Referee David Pakiito from New Zealand ready. Farrell's left boot starts proceedings again. 40 minutes for England to win this match. 40 minutes for the Australians to push on and consolidate their position. They're ahead 8-2 at the break, and they are in possession for the first set of 6. And that is Robbie Cairns.
Well, it goes without saying, really, Eddie, that England really do need a great start very, very soon in this second half. They've got to build up on their confidence. They didn't get many opportunities in that first stanza, and it is so important they get at least a good break, a good position to apply the pressure.
Well, Radlinski will now run the ball back after Kim Morley's kick downfield. The chase was led by the skipper Fittler, and he was helped out by one of the big forwards as well. It's going to be a real battle. Oh, Naylor has lost that.
Well, it happened twice in the first half. Silly mistakes in a vital position. You could see there that Naylor really did not hang on to that football. Shakes his head in disbelief. We know it's pretty wet out there, but you've got to respect it more than that at international level.
Big test of this new football, the 8-panel ball. Kim Morley, he used the referee as a foil then, did really well, he was nearly through. It was a good tackle that came in on him from Mike Forshaw. This now is Jason Stevens. Jason Stevens takes the tackle, but the Australians still 20 metres away from the English line, and that's Andrew Johns trying to go inside Harvey Howard with help from Stuart Fielden.
To be fair, they've really kept Andrew Johns pretty quiet. Not many chances to run from dummy half.
Went backwards off Brian Fletcher, the referee giving the Australians benefit of the doubt. 4 tackles gone then, the count continues. There is Johns. Here now is the substitute Stevens on the charge, and that's the last tackle. They're camped in front of the post though. Johns gets it away to Kim Morley. Where's the kick? There it is, it's angled. Boots were flying, and Fielden did well. He picked it up, but it has to take the tackle from Kim Morley, and Jason Stevens there all over him as well.
Well, I'm not so sure that was the best option. Surprised me. Chris Anderson, pretty shrewd coach. I thought he would have given the message, getting a good opportunity. Brett Kim Morley go for the 1-point field goal.
Well, this pitch is such that it might just, he might go for the 1 point and the ball will stick in the mud. Mind you, I must say up that end of the field that England are now defending, the conditions do look slightly more firm than they do at the Australians' end. But England having a devil's own job to get out of their own quarter yet again in the start of this second half. They might do now with Morley. That's the last tackle though. This set of 6, England have made just 21 metres. They'll make a few more maybe here with a kick from Farrell, and they do. He hoofs it over the top, and he's at least turned Lockyer and Rogers round. Let's get the half-time news from the dressing rooms. Bill.
A lot of tension down here, Eddie, a lot at stake, and England still in the hunt, and that's the mood in the England camp. A very jolly John Keir came out of the England dressing room with a grin on his face. He knows his guys have performed heroics in the first half. He's looking for that in the second half, especially in defence, and he wants to try and move these Australian forwards around. England sense that the Aussies are struggling with these conditions in their opening game, a little bit ring rusty, and they want to keep them moving and tire them even more. Australia, for their part, want to cut out the errors, too many of those in the first half, keep the ball in hand and try and exploit this England defence out wide, where they have had some success.
That'll be a knock-on. Oh, the referee has not seen it.
Chris Anderson, the coach of Australia, not too displeased with that. The good crossfield kick is looking, well, it's found Leon Price. He was looking for Girdler or Rogers, and Price sailed above them both.
That was confident play there by the youngster.
Sit hold.
Super stuff.
Well, now can England move these big forwards about? Great take though on the fly by Leon Price. Really having to step up a gear here at international level, young Leon Price. There's Harvey Howard, who knows exactly what to expect, the grand final winner from the Brisbane Broncos. And now Farrell, that's a good ball. Back on the inside, Morley has to take the tackle from Scott Hill. These heavy conditions will take their toll on the Aussies in this second half, there's no doubt about that. England must be the fitter, and Wendell Saylor just juggling with the ball again, but it's stuck at the second attempt.
Going to be interesting to see how much petrol is in the tank on either side late in this match. Ring rusty, as Eddie has just mentioned, that's the Australians, of course. And we haven't really seen the power of the Australian pack. Maybe that comes a little bit later, but they've done a good job of England in keeping control of the Australian 6.
And they tried that a little bit over-confident stuff, and Robbie Kearns put it down.
Well, as the game progresses, players become more and more tired. Lack of concentration, and of course, the ball is extremely slippy. Robbie Kearns ends up with a mistake that the English were prone to do in that first half.
So what can England do with this possession? As Rodlinski is dumped to the ground by Brad Fittler. Interested spectator is Lawrence Dallaglio from the other code, the England star. And certainly the rugby union fraternity, Steve-O, casting more and more envious eyes at the game of rugby league over the course of the recent past.
Well, it is their home, Twickenham.
I'm not saying they're not allowed in, I'm just saying that they're looking enviously at us. And they've taken players like Robinson already.
Well, they may pick up a few hints.
That's a nice little run from Tony Smith, but boy, he was cleaned out.
Fletcher certainly didn't miss. It's interesting, early in the game it was Fletcher that tangled with the stand-up, and it's getting a bit naughty out there. Slow-mo, and Smithy knew it was coming, and I think it's getting to a point now where the referee, Mr. Pacquiao, will start looking for the cards here.
Maybe so, but remember, this is the World Cup, this is an international, it's not touch and pass, and this is Forshaw, and Forshaw gets away from one, but he can't get away from the next two. He escaped the clutches of Girdler, but there were reinforcements aplenty. Rowley gives it to Anderson, Anderson then helps it on to Long, Long on to Smith, fully recovered. Farrell's come back on the inside and lost his footing, and Jason Stevens got him with Fittler.
Certainly got him, swinging left arm yet again.
Anderson charging forward as he did for the Bradford Bulls throughout this season. 4 tackles gone, England 15 metres away from the line. Anderson to his feet. This is Sean Long, still Long, and he gets England to within 4 metres. That's how close the English are. Last tackle, Rowley, Farrell, wide it goes, Walker trapped. Tackle completed.
Pretty solid, Wendell Sailor.
He's like a 7th forward, isn't he, Wendell Sailor? And here he is now, runs like the wind, tackles with ferocity, and such a difficult man to put to ground.
Well, the build-up there by the English boys was pretty solid. Good work, they kept the ball alive. It was a good run as well from Sean Long. And I think Sean Long, slowly but surely, is becoming a little bit more confident as this game goes on. Interference, play the ball, and Fletcher not deemed to have lost it. Anderson interfering. You can see that Anderson certainly got the boot to it.
Tidy the rucks, guys.
The referee just telling the both sides, let's get it a little bit more tidy at the rucks.
On halfway, here come the Aussies again on the charge with Robbie Kearns, captain of Melbourne. He's succeeded Glenn Lazarus in that role. Now it's with Jason Stevens of the Cronulla Sharks. Names that I'm sure are familiar to you from our NRL coverage throughout the course of the summer here on Sky Sports. It's now with Jason Croker. Croker takes the tackle. That's the 3rd.
Australia opting just to use the big power in the forwards now.
Kim Morley ducking under Morley, and Morley put his hand up, gave himself away almost then. Good job that Anderson was there. John's the dummy half, and here is Darren Lockyer. Lockyer, beautiful ball. Oh, wonderful movement here, and that was Croker. And Croker wants a quick play of the ball. There's Fittler. Fittler's taking them on, stabs the ball in goal. That's too deep. Wonderful movement, though, from Australia.
Nice option. But again, Eddie, the big problem for England is that they just can't get into a good position to launch a set pattern. Just the odd move, not even a little run around they've been able to do yet. And you can see there that in and around the rucks, they're so quick out of the blocks in defence.
Long gets away from Kearns and gets the ball away to Farrell. Farrell gives it to Senior. Now this maybe is a chance. No, great tackling back from Brett Kimorley. He was all over the top of Senior. Here goes young Chev Walker. 10 minutes, second half gone. Walker's run lifts England now at halfway, and they have the penalty. Oh! And Jason Stevens has swung one at Walker. Well, the baby of the England side, and Stevens has had a swing at him.
He's been running the tightrope. There's the substitute, Jason Stevens. A bit of a temper on him. You can see there, he wouldn't release him. And the knees into it, and then just through the haymaker. Well, I wonder when this official... Oh, well, you could see that young Walker certainly tried to grab the shorts, shall we say.
Jason Stevens is a born-again Christian, and he's one of the best ball-handling forwards in the game. But he swung a punch at young Chev Walker there, and it's given England some territory at last.
Not only that, Eddie, since he's come off the bench, he's thrown quite a few out there. Getting tasty.
Kevin Sinfield's on for England. That was his pass.
That's a good move by John Keir. He's got all the quality of Sinfield. I think he'll be a star of this World Cup tournament.
And that was his kick over the top, but that was ambitious. That really was ambitious. Only just out of the dugout. And Sinfield trying something.
Well, that's the type of thing that they have to do against the Australians. You see how he took it on the run through the dummy half. I'm sure that was a message from the coach, John Keir, to make sure. No point in sending him out there and just say, work your way in, do something good. This kid has all the talent.
So the Australians in possession. That's 2 tackles gone, but significantly they are midway inside their own half of the field.
Wait till it's healed, boys.
And that is Brian Kennedy, and the tackler was by his opposite number, Mike Forshaw. England doing well in the tackling. John's getting the Aussies to halfway though. Kimorley will put the little kick in, trying to turn the youngster around.
Once again, young Walker ready perfectly.
Tallis returns. That could be ominous for England. Scott Naylor now with a little bit of space, but it's soon closed down.
Little doubt in my mind that Chris Anderson, the Aussie coach, has said to Tallis, come on, we need something special out there.
Well, you can see that his left knee is heavily strapped, Gordon Tallis, so he picked up a knock early. Hasn't seen too much of him in this first meeting of Australia. The first, we hope, of what might be another one before the end of the tournament at Old Trafford on the 25th of November. The final of this year's Lincoln Financial Group World Cup. Now a lovely little run from Sean Long. Sean Long's away. Great tackling back though by Tallis.
Try saver that. He had support on inside and outside Long.
There's Farrell. Ball's going to ground.
Went nowhere. With the play on.
Well, that was an aimless kick, and here come the Aussies in the shape of Lockyer. Oh, and he's able to get the ball away to Rogers. Wellens comes on. Adrian Morley goes off. And young Wellens will drop back to full-back, and Radlinski will move forward. John Keir trying everything, but I fancy that might be an injury to the English vice-captain, Adrian Morley. He was certainly in a little bit of strife in the first half. And Wendell Saylor and Keith Senior just exchanging views.
Well, Saylor was still moving. And if you still keep him moving, then that's okay. Not according to the official on that occasion.
He shouted held, he said.
But he was still moving. Okay, I know he's the boss.
The penalty count has levelled, hasn't it? It's 8-7 now, but in England's favour. Important set of 6 here, and he does well there, does Kearns. He turns and offloads. And here's Kimorley, and Kimorley's gone round Wellens. Oh, that was a great tackle back by Fielden.
Good work from Forshaw as well. He got in between the pass.
Ball bounces in front of the Aussie captain, picked up by Lockyer. Wellens got the tackle in. This is Gordon Tallis. Still Gordon Tallis. And Tallis is hauled down just short of the line. Good job that Anderson and Long were there. The Australians just 2 metres away. Now it's with Kimorley. He stabbed the ball in goal. And across comes Radlinski to clear the danger for England. But they are living dangerously.
Are they ever? Again, we see the kick from Kimorley. Really has controlled the short kicking game out there tonight. And I just get the impression, and I think maybe John Keir feels it too, that there's quite a few in the England camp there. They're just getting a little bit sluggish out there. Not this fella. He was quick enough to get back there. He needed to.
Ball skims its way into the arms of Rogers. The English chase is led by Long. England will know they've been in a match at the end of tonight. Tallis. Ball inside to Stevens. Good defence.
Solid. That's what's needed. They really have given it to this Australia.
Here's forward number 7 though, Wendell Saylor. How difficult is he to put to the deck? Says he fancies a chance in the Super League, by the way, when his contract in Brisbane is out next year. Here's Tallis. Tallis is hauled down. Australia bang in front of the England post. 2 tackles remain. Oh, penalty. Interference at the play of the ball.
Well, surely the Aussies will just take the 2 gift points.
Bang in front of the sticks.
Now, was it desperation? Or did he just lose it?
What are you doing?
Yeah, you could see Senior just had a little flick with the fingers, perhaps. His arm, he just flicks it just enough. Thought he'd get away with it, but the eagle eye of the New Zealand referee, David Pakiito, had a fine game.
and he will not be kidded with things like that. Well, Rodgers hasn't kicked terribly convincingly tonight, but surely from 10 metres out, bang in front. This will be 10-2 to Australia in a second. Not a problem this time. Rodgers adds 2 points to the Australian total. 10-2. Chris Anderson still cannot breathe terribly easy yet.
Monday.
We always look to Andrew Farrell to produce something special. Cleary is back on for the English. Farrell with a shallow kick-off. That will drop in the mud, but well picked up by Scott Hill. Under pressure from Tony Smith. Here's Saylor. Your heart misses a beat when this fella gets hold of it again.
Come on! Wait here, wait. Hands off, 7-8.
Caution on the run for Paul Anderson there.
Stand up! Now wide, short long!
Well, don't forget, we have another match from this World Cup extravaganza for you on Sky Sports 1. Sunday at 6:30, it's Wales against the Cook Islands. We'll be at Wrexham at the racecourse ground. Wellens picks up, but put under immediate pressure.
Well, that just highlights what I've been talking about, is the fact that when the kick goes through, it's not just one or two. The entire Australian squad sweep down there. And England, yet again, so often we've had to do this. Fight it out of our own quarter.
Well, the Australians' last defeat came in a tri-series of 1999, beaten 24-22 by New Zealand in the opening game of that tournament. Remember, in the last 3 outings, they have scored 242 points, conceded none. And there it is, 182 tackles by England, working much harder than the Aussies. And that will surely take its toll later on in this match. In these conditions, it's punishing stuff. Long trying something different, but just not quite coming off for him. This is Lockyer. Ooh, what a good job that Naylor got a hold of the ankle. That ball wasn't played properly. Here now is Tallis. Tallis down the left-hand side.
They may be injured, but he's still got the speed to come on that arc round onto the blind area.
Kimorley hands it on. Robbie Cairns again. Ball goes backwards and inevitably to a green and gold jersey. It's Lockyer now, wrapped up by Senior, but no, he isn't. He's managed to get the ball away to Tallis. He kept his arms free, and Tallis disappears under the heavy weight of 3 England defenders.
Come on, Andy.
Now then, it's with Kimorley. Back it goes on the inside. Webke.
Now then, what Kimorley will he do with this, or will it be Brad Fittler?
It's Kimorley. Now it's Scott Hill. Wide it goes, on the bounce to Saylor. Oh, Saylor has escaped, and England desperate to keep him out.
On the last, is he held over? This is a big decision by the referee.
Well, there's the right chimozzle going on here.
Was he held over in the in-goal area? He's pretty strong, that's what he was fighting for.
Back away.
Never any doubt of the try being scored.
Held up in goal.
The referee's just said held up in goal.
Held up in goal.
Look at the ability that they have, yet again. So much skills, haven't they, the Australians? On occasion, it was Scott Hill that was the man who created it.
Well, that was great defence from England. Remember, Wendell Saylor scored a try similar to that in this year's grand final. England having to try and keep this ball alive. They are here. This is Anderson.
Well, we've seen a couple of occasions from Sean Long trying to little chip over the top. It's going to take something like that.
Good ball back on the inside from Long to Forshaw. Great tackle though by Andrew Johns. There's Long. Here now is Naylor, trying to outmuscle these Aussies. Man of the match, it's time for you to make your choice. 09009 1010 13. You have to vote now. You have to agree with the choice of Dennis Betts, our guest tonight, and Steve-O. If you do that, you win 2 World Cup final tickets for Old Trafford on November the 25th. I just wonder who will be there at the end of the next month. Will it be England, Australia? Will New Zealand have a say? What about the Irish? What about the Welsh? What about the Papua New Guineans who are off to a flying start today? It will be a fantastic tournament, this.
That was a much better kick and chase there. Sean Long taking the ball on the blind side, making sure that it dissected the fullback and the winger. And they've got to get their defence pretty solid now. They can't afford to let Australia get over the halfway line. So, what a big hit! The big fella Cleary got him.
Web King felt that. Senior was in hand as well. Chip over the top. Oh, that will stand up. Leon Price has got to run it back. Look at the chase. Rogers, oh, he sidestepped him. Great tackle, though, by Ryan Girdler.
Could have been a flop there as well from Kamali. He came pretty late.
Paul Wellens.
Penalty.
Still Wellens. Had a great season for St Helens as Wellens. And this is a possession in the opposition's half overall match time. First half it was overwhelmingly in Australia's favour. And now, well, England 7 minutes behind on the clock. Away goes Tony Smith. Big hit, great tackle.
Come on here, come on.
Well, it's not yet time to panic in the England camp. There's still plenty of time.
Little dink over the top from Farrell.
Oh, that was a big mistake.
It stuck like a pudding. Lockyer got to it.
Screaming for it was the full back.
Here's Saylor.
Hesitated there. And again, kicking game. Well, that's the only ploy, really. You could see that Lockyer thought perhaps that Wendell Saylor was going to take it. But again, they're forcing England into the only ploy to get through this defence, and that's with a kick.
Fittler gives it to Adam McDougall. Another one by the looks of things who's had a visit to the barber shop.
16 away.
Johns. Call from the referee, 16. Darren Fleer was offside. He wasn't then when he came back after Senior made the attempted tackle. Johns again. Kim Morley. High kick, midfield bomb. Wellens is after it. Price has claimed it. Isn't Price having a game? If only he'd have scored that try in the first half.
He said it's mine. Lockyer took out Wellens. And the youngster has come up trumps yet again. They will not give in.
Long again. Copybook tackling, though, from Andrew Johns. Here's Radlinski. Wide it goes to Naylor. This Australian defence just shuffles across again, forces him inside.
We play the ball, that's what's needed.
This is Forshaw.
We've got to try somehow to make sure that the Australian defence has not got a solid line. We've got to try to make them so that they are going on the back foot.
Farrell saw the little gap and he's gone for it with the kick. Lockyer read it perfectly.
Oh, wonderful play from both sides. Farrell with the little dink over the top. With full credit and bravery from Lockyer.
Now England's defence has to be brave again. Saylor, he got the pass away to Rogers and Rogers claims it, but they've lost ground, Australia. Harvey Howard all over the top of the Shark, but referees wiped the tackle count down. There was an English hand in that. And here they come again. Here is McDougall. Naylor and Fleary, and also there Kevin Sinfield.
Well, the big question you've got to ask now is, can England last these final minutes? It's been a big effort in defence.
Knock on there was from Johns. That was the first.
Not happy with it.
He doesn't agree.
Big hit yet again. Harvey Howard.
Maybe Howard got a fingertip to it.
It looked that way, but he looks shining. It looks as though they've got it.
Yes, he's given
it right.
He's given the knock on against Howard because it's head and feet to Australia.
Well, I must say Harvey Howard really has put on some big hits tonight. As he certainly know he's around.
I don't know whether you heard the interviews with Harvey Howard, but he has developed a pretty strong Australian accent, and he's been down under, I think, hasn't he, for about 4 years. And you become Australian when you go home.
A couple of weeks, it's g'day, mate.
Jason Croker, the handling error count against Australia is 11-8. Oh, Kim Morley has stepped away. Kim Morley's on the charge. Oh, Tallis was hauled back. This should be a penalty to Australia. He's allowed play on because this is McDougall. He's gone inside them, and McDougall will score. McDougall scores. The referee allowed the play on. Now then, what's he looking for here?
Checking. Picked it up cleanly.
Yeah. But it looked like a penalty to the Australians, but the referee appeared to allow the play to continue and the advantage, and Adam McDougall took full advantage of the advantage.
What a game Comolli has had. You could see there that Tallis was taken out. Forshaw definitely took a hold of him. But they played on. Even worse is that there's 2 English players down receiving treatment whilst they're preparing. Rogers for the kick. And that's okay. This will be TRY. There is little doubt.
Adam McDougall gets the try for Australia. They're happy. The Aussies, who are many thousands of miles from home, no doubt living in the capital, maybe over on tour to watch this World Cup unfold over the next 4 weeks. But McDougall with the try, and Rogers now. The Blonderins double act for the Aussies. And Rogers just hammers the ball over the top of the bar. And Australia increase their lead. Well, it has been said many times that home nations, Great Britain or England, whichever guys they are in, can match it with the Aussies for an hour, and then in the last 20 they tend to fall away. Well, we have 12.5 minutes remaining, and the gap is 14 points. Now, can England respond? Bill Arthur on the touchline's got some news of those injured players for England.
It could be more than just points that were the expense in that try, because in the build-up, Sean Long and Scott Naylor both went down. Naylor is in real trouble, hobbling out on the wing. Long too has ankle trouble, and if either of those are serious, then this could be a big blow for England. Naylor definitely in trouble, and the physio speaking to him again now.
Yeah, but Naylor wants to stay on the field and try and run the injury off. Here is Kevin Sinfield.
Look at that way. Look at that defence. I mean, Darren Lockyer come from the fullback position. He was virtually in front of the man receiving the football. They are so quick.
They're so quick, and they're 10 weeks off their last match, some of these fellas.
There's little doubt that the green and gold will get better as this tournament goes through. And look at that defence yet again. It takes something special to break them down.
And Harvey Howard provided. It's the last tackle.
Big hit from Webke.
Crossfield kick, and Radlinski's after this. Well picked up though by Tallis. Well, they are showing tonight, the Australians, why they are 7-1 on to retain this World Cup.
A talented outfit, full of skill, strength, the ability. The one thing that did impress me in the first half, when there's a few low-flying aircraft going around, they kept the composure. They kept pretty cool. Only a couple of occasions they just lost the plot of it, but they're very disciplined.
I just wonder, Steve-O, with the last 10 minutes of the match beckoning, whether England will be privately quite happy, in a funny sort of way, to be just 16-2 down, because they haven't been given the shellacking that so many people were predicting. Everyone was saying this is going to be 40, 50 points, but there is something here for England to build on.
Oh, without a doubt, little doubt about that, in the fact that perhaps it could have been all so different, couldn't it? If Liam Price could have taken that opportunity, and then it would have been England leading, perhaps going into a half-time break. It's amazing what a couple of points lead can do for your confidence.
And what would a try do to the England confidence in the latter stages of this match? 16-2 down. They haven't breached the Australians' line. They've looked capable of it once or twice, and Farrell again is leading the way, and he keeps the ball alive, tipping it on the inside to Fielden. 4 tackles gone though, and they're only just over the halfway line.
They've all tried hard, but this positional sense that the Australians have, it is so important that they just keep you in your own quarter for nearly all the game.
The kick from Farrell, that's not a bad little effort, but Rogers makes it look oh so easy. And he's got Leon Price ahead of him, and Leon Price does well.
Just a little bit too long. Not the best kick. You can see there that Rogers, no pressure applied to him. There's a few things to fine-tune. The coach John Keir, and I'm sure that Chris Anderson will feel the same way. He'll be happy with this. He knew that they would be rusted. And it's been a great effort from the green and golds.
Yes, it has. It's going to be like a kangaroo tour, this. They will build in confidence, camaraderie and fitness as the World Cup progresses. But I think that this now means if Australia win this match tonight, best England can hope for is to finish runners-up of their group. And that would probably mean a semi-final, if they get there, against the Kiwis. We're looking way down the track, and there's plenty of football to be played. This is the last tackle. Fittler's running it. Oh, great ball to Kimorley. Kimorley keeps it alive. It goes back to Lockyer. Wide it goes then to Scott Hill. Good hands from the Australians, this. This is Gidley. Gidley back on the inside. Saylor went without it. That could be 6 to go.
Should be.
No, it's still on the last. Hill again. They've lost a bit of ground. Great chasing by the English captain.
Well, he's certainly put himself about. He's had a big game as Andy Farrell. They've all tried hard, and I think that they will gain in experience from this, especially the youngsters. He has led them magnificently, Andy Farrell. They've kept him pretty quiet. They've always had someone round his ankles. He's a couple of occasions tried the half break, but there's always been someone snapping away at him.
Wait, Fred.
Here's Sean Long. Oh, it was a dodgy pass on. Leon priced it ever so well. Wrapped up though by Schittler. Naylor almost a passenger now. Long inside to Senior. Senior on it goes to Sinfield. Wide then to Farrell. Back on the inside to Wellens, and the big forward Fletcher was waiting for him.
Just a little bit telegraphed there from Farrell back on the inside. Well spotted though by Fletcher.
Here's your votes line for man of the match. 09009 10 10 13. Who's caught your eye? You're looking for a green and gold somehow.
Come on, Fred. No, really.
Steve-O and Dennis Betts will make the decision. If you come up with the same name, you could be off to the World Cup final at Old Trafford on November the 25th, remember. Another kick from Andy Farrell, I'm afraid, has gone out on the full.
Well, he's not happy because the pass was appalling.
Here,
He won't be too impressed either.
Something to build on for John Keir, though. If you're going to look for positives in this match, that's it.
There's plenty. All they have to do now is to devise some method to keep possession of the ball, to apply that pressure, and then also come up with a few set patterns and moves that can break down this solid defence. It's not going to be easy.
16, don't hang on.
It is not going to be easy to break this Australian defence down.
Come on. Stand up, Trade.
And Webke was looking for the penalty there, which didn't come. Hill gets it out wide once again to Gidley. The little dab beyond Radlinski, and Radlinski snaked out the left boot and put the ball dead in goal.
Nice little option. Radlinski read it ever so well. See how they just seem to be just queuing up. Always seem to be able to create that extra man out wide. And he's done all that has been requested from him tonight, Chris Radlinski.
Yes, they get there in numbers, the Australians, don't they? Sean Long is coming off. Maybe the ankle is a bit problematical, and maybe they will look to rest him for the battles that lie ahead. Next assignment for England, Russia on Wednesday. That's at St Helens. Here comes the skipper again. Oh! Brad Fittler normally doesn't do that.
You won't be impressed with that. Maybe with that pass they may punish him by having to shave off that not-so-pretty moustache.
Maybe Brad Fittler couldn't believe it was Gordon Tallis standing out on the wing. He looks pretty happy with the way it's gone, though, Chris Anderson. He was a little bit, well, nervous isn't the right word, but he was certainly concerned about... That'll do. He was certainly concerned about this match when we spoke to him last night in our preview programme.
Well, he knew quite a lot of his squad were having trouble sleeping. So it was a bit of a problem. When you come from the other side of the world, the jet lag does play its part.
Yes, and I must say, despite the doom and gloom merchants, England haven't suffered from jet lag after their trip to Orlando. That must be said as well.
Been a compact performance, though, by England. There's been some outstanding effort. Paul Rowley certainly has done himself no harm in the international stakes. Quite a few people perhaps pointed the question mark and said that couldn't handle it. He certainly has done that.
He has, and also the man getting up and playing the football there, Mike Forshaw. I can't remember him being off the field. I don't think he's been spelled. I think he's gone through the full 80 minutes tonight for John Keir. Good chase by England for that little kick. We have 3 3/4 minutes remaining. Australia in possession here with McDougall, the scorer of their third try.
They've been extremely competitive of England. And very few opportunities. All right, they missed a couple of them.
They're such great ball handlers, though, the Aussies, aren't they? Gidley then. He seemed to have lost it, but he got it back without too much trouble at the second attempt. Here's Saylor again.
And our defence has been pretty solid at times as well.
I wonder how this will be written up in the papers tomorrow, Steve-O. Wonder how the reporters view this as Fittler heads off on another run. A lovely ankle tap. That was a great ankle tap by Naylor. Remember, he's carrying an ankle injury. McDougall gives it to Tallis inside. This is the last. Australia are running it. It's with Tallis. They've got to tackle it. They don't. He offloads to Lockyer. He then offloads to Stevens. Wide it goes from Hill. Gidley. This is Saylor. This is going to be a try for Australia, and it is out wide. Wendell Saylor's second of the match at Twickenham. Try given. And England really don't deserve that. But the Australian build-up work and approach, and the fact that they held off Gordon Tallis, was absolutely fatal.
A very tired defence here. The skipper just screaming through. Good work though by Naylor, an ankle tap. But you can see that the English defence, they've got the back to them, and on the back foot all the time. And you can't allow any team, never mind an Australian team, to be able to just keep offloading like that. That was sheer skill. Teamwork personified by the Australians against a very, very tired England defence now. You would not have seen that in the first half, allowing Tallis plenty of room to keep the ball alive. And the three quarters did it all right. Well, this fella has scored 2 tries tonight, and they have been simple efforts, but they all count. And it is just rubbing a little bit more salt in England's wound, which appears to be getting wider and wider.
He's got a lot to think about over the next couple of weeks. First, of course, Russia, and then Fiji, and then see what happens in the quarter-final. This is Rogers with the conversion from way out west, and he has kicked it. That's more like the Matt Rogers we have come to know. 22 points to 2. Australians with a 20-point winning margin, and looking full value for their 7-1 on favourites tag, where in the last minute of the match Wendell Saylor has got 2 tries.
Well, we knew that they would come strong in that final quarter. They always do.
Not so sure about the nan-nan, Steve-O, that Wendell Saylor's grown for this tour.
I very rarely discuss hair of any description, be it any part of the body. Jealousy can be a cruel thing at times.
Stand up. I'm right here. 10 minutes, stand square.
England have 20 seconds before that final siren. The Australians in possession from the kickoff with their captain,
Let him go.
Fittler. He said let him go, and then Fittler offloaded. Here's Jason Stevens. Oh, the Aussies are flooding forward again. Round the man and picked up brilliantly. Half forward. Referee, I think, has said that was forward. That's the end of it. The siren will sound. Chris Anderson's men have begun World Cup 2000 with victory by 20 points. And I wonder whether David Howes and John Keir privately will be happy enough with the winning margin being restricted to 20 points, because they will believe, I think, at the end of this, that there is something to build on for the tournament that lies ahead. Everyone
In this year's World Cup, it finished 4 tries to 0, with Wendell Saylor grabbing a double. The match stats show us it was a pretty spirited affair, this one. A little bit of feeling at times. There was some early drop-off from the Australians. They looked better in the second half, but I thought a pretty strong performance from England as well, and plenty of good performers there. Fittler was outstanding. Wendell Saylor, a real handful. Keith Senior features fairly prominently there for the English side. I thought he was outstanding in the centres, and plenty to build on for John Keir in a performance that I think both coaches will be fairly happy with. Phil Gould, 20 points seems substantial, but in this day and age, it's not that big a margin.
No, much more committed effort by England. They went for the full 80 minutes, which has been rare in recent times. And that youth that he brought into the side brought with it some enthusiasm, little lack of experience. Chris Anderson will be happy. It's a good blowout for him. You're always nervous that first game of any tournament. Both sides with plenty to build on through the tournament.
Well, a lot of pressure on all the players throughout this tournament. I suppose Brett Kimmorley under pressure with so many people saying that maybe Andrew Johns should be in the half-back role. But he is the man of the match for B Sky B, and here is what Brett Kimmorley had to say after this 80 minutes.
Congratulations, Lincoln Financial Group, man of the match for a game that, in the end, was a fairly comfortable victory, but looked hard work as well.
It was certainly hard work for the whole 80 minutes. You know, they sort of come out and give it to us, and then we played good at times and then got very scrappy. So hopefully we can tidy that up before Wednesday's game and start to hit some form.
And the conditions obviously made it tricky.
They did, yeah. You know, obviously it was a bit heavy out there, and the ball got a little bit slippery. So hopefully we can get some good weather and play some good footy out of this tournament.
Thanks a lot. There's your award. Well done. Coach Chris Anderson alongside. Chris, satisfied with that?
Yeah, I think that's the best thing. It was tough conditions to play football, and especially that we haven't played for 8 or 10 weeks, hard games. So to finish on top, I'm very pleased with that.
And you had to do your share of defending, which went very smoothly as well. What are the areas you're going to be looking to improve now?
Well, I just think that was great for us. A good tough run under our belt. You know, the Poms came out there and they tried really hard. They give it to us early. You know, it was tough to go forward. It was, you know, you're on your heels all the time. They were certainly solid in defence. So it was just, we had to grind it out. You know, unfortunately, it wasn't a pretty game for the supporters because of the conditions. But from a coach's point of view, it's good when you grind those games out.
Yeah, pretty happy Chris Anderson there. He's not a coach that gives a whole lot away. And Phil, more than anything else, probably relief there that this one is out of the way and they've got the result.
Yeah, exactly. As I said, the first game of any tournament, you're always nervous. He'd be really pleased that he got some competition tonight. I think the Australian players will too. That'll set them in a good mood for the rest of the tournament. They'll know they can't take any game lightly.
Looking through the Australian performances, B Sky B gave their man of the match to Brett Kimmorley. He was great. I thought Fittler was outstanding. What about the other players?
I thought Scott Hill had some nice touches, and Darren Lockyer in the second half had to clean up a couple of little chip kicks from Andy Farrell. He was also dangerous at the back. Wendell Saylor, very, very good. No bad players for Australia. Probably the conditions was a great leveller with the slippery conditions, but you know, all in all, a good team performance. Kimmorley at the front was the man of the match.
Yeah, despite being on the end of a 20-point defeat, I wouldn't imagine John Keir would be too upset with that result, especially in the first match. And here is what the English coach had to say after their performance.
John, what's the reaction to that defeat?
Well, we're proud. We feel that we did the jumpers proud. We feel we did the nation proud, and we can improve the team. You look at people like Paul Sculthorpe, who we've been missing. So, you know, the lads who went out there were first class. And also, I've just looked at the stats, and the Australians had the ball for 4 minutes longer than us. That's a heck of a lot of possession. So it just shows the amount of defensive work that my lads did. And I thought we asked a few questions as well.
And you must have been so proud of the work the youngsters did, the likes of Leon Price and Chev Walker.
Well, it just goes to prove that if you give young kids an opportunity, they seize that opportunity. I mean, I thought both kids grew in confidence the more they're on the field. I thought when Paul Wellens went on, he showed some good touches as well, and Kevin Sinfield. And they really are bairns, and they're the future of this game. And it shows that we have got things right in Super League over here. But we did come up empty because the Australians won, and all credit to them because their defensive effort was first class, as was their ball control.
Yeah, former Castleford player John Keir has taken the big step into coaching, doing a good job. The quarter-finals shape up this way. Sunday the 12th of November, we will cover the first and second quarter-finals with our coverage beginning at 3:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Saving Time. Do check your local guides. And on Monday, the 13th of November, the third and fourth quarter-finals, coverage beginning a little bit later at 3:50 a.m. Also, please check your local guides for that. So some good rugby league coming up. Good way to start the tournament, Phil. Happy with that result?
Mate, it's like old times, getting up early in the morning watching the football from overseas. Really enjoyed it, and looking forward to the rest of the tournament.
And also looking forward to seeing some of the other teams compete. I think maybe Ireland, the New Zealand Maoris could provide some sort of, well, not upsets, but some good football.
As I said, not much difference between the other teams, so we'll get some real close competitive games of football, and everyone should improve during the tournament. Looking forward to it.
Thanks for your company this morning, and yours as well. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage of this year's Rugby League World Cup. Till next time, on behalf of the Channel 9 Rugby League crew, we wish you a very good morning.
This has been a presentation of Nine's Wide World of Sports.